Hi, I'm Craig Lounsbrough. I want to welcome you to LifeTalk. Thanks for taking the time to join us today. You know, I think that we would all like prayer to be a real thing. Whether you believe in it or not, I believe that most of us would like it to be true. You know, we all have those difficult and devastating points in life when we would love to have something that would connect us to something bigger than who we are. Something to get us out of the mess that we can't get ourselves out of. And so regardless of what you happen to believe, I believe that most of us would like prayer to be real, to be true. And so out of that hope, maybe we need to take a minute and revisit prayer. Whether you tend to believe in it or not, maybe we need to ask what it really is. Maybe we need to consider abandoning all lesser ideals and see if we can embrace prayer as the potent and indispensable power that handily moves everything that would dare step in its path. And if prayer is actually that real and that powerful, how do we get ourselves there? Well, to achieve this, we might begin by asking what prayer is, and in the process of doing that, highlighting what it's not. And so what is this thing that we have been privileged to do that we call prayer? Well, how have we diminished prayer by adding our own contrivances to it? Or attempting to tame it so that it walks in step with our anemic agendas? In what ways have we gutted it by losing it to man-made traditions or secularizing it to make it more palatable to the masses? Or attempting to formalize it, thinking that there's some sort of code to break or some keyword to use? How have we cheapened prayer by seeing it as some sort of ready-made laundry list or something demanded of us by people who don't demand it of themselves? Or how has prayer been cheapened by the cheap promises that so many have made of it? What is prayer and what is it not? Whatever we've done to prayer, I think that we need a basic reminder and a basic reorientation. We need to untangle whatever we've done to this thing we call prayer. We need to rid it of all of our contrivances. We need to quit trying to tame it so that it walks in step with our anemic agendas. We need to rid it of our man-made traditions. We've got to stop trying to secularize it to make it more palatable to the masses. In addition to that, we've got to quit trying to formalize it, thinking that there's some sort of code to break or keyword to use. We've got to refuse to see it as some ready-made laundry list, or a demand imposed on us by others, or a cheap promise made by self-appeasing men. We've got to stop that stuff and get back to what prayer actually is. Now, you will find a much more detailed dialogue of this presented in my book, Taking It to Our Knees, Rigorous Prayers for Life's Greatest Challenges. But for today, in order to set the stage for this renovation, I would have you consider these 11 points. And if you apply these 11 truths, they can recalibrate and literally transform your prayer life regardless of what you believe about prayer. 1. Prayer is courageously living out our faith in the real world. It is not some ascetic exercise carried out in some mystical netherworld. 2. Prayer is a natural connection to a marvelous God, not an academic pursuit. 3. Prayer is the rawness of the soul connecting with the goodness of God, not an obligatory tip of the hat. 4. Prayer is discovering what we were built for instead of questioning if we should have been built at all. 5. Prayer is the activity which before all other activities, movements, peoples, and nations will bend if we just bend our knees. It is not some anemic exercise helplessly held within the four walls within which it was prayed. 6. Prayer is not a lifestyle that we learn. Rather, it is the life that we were born to live. 7. Prayer is not a formula that we concoct, but an intimacy that we develop. 8. Prayer is not the last resort. Rather, it is the first step that will never leave us facing a last resort. 9. Prayer is not the thing that we squeeze into our day, but the thing that squeezes everything that would kill us out of our day. 10. Prayer is not a discipline, but a manifestation of our love for our God that will result in a discipline. 11. And finally, prayer is the choice to invade the impossible, not live out our lives hampered by the probable. I would suggest that you take a few moments to ponder these points. I would let them begin the process of refreshing and reshaping your understanding of prayer so that prayer becomes everything that God created it to be and nothing that it is not. Today's podcast is drawn from the book, Taking It to Our Knees, Rigorous Prayers for Life's Greatest Challenges. I would encourage you to get your copy today at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or wherever books are sold. Thanks for joining us on LifeTalk today. You will find LifeTalk on most podcast platforms as well as YouTube. I would also encourage you to check out all of our daily posts on all of our social media sites. Thanks for being here today. See you next time.